I'll be giving a demo on the following topics such as creating and running basic Spring Boot application. Later I'll be trying changing the ports. After that I'll try including DevTool dependency so that I don't have to start and stop the application every time I made change in the application. So DevTool dependency is something that it manages itself to like restart and stop the application. After that, I'll try deploying the application on AWS EC2 Instance and try hitting APIs remotely from Postman. So the prerequisite for this application is Postman application so that we can hit APIs from our local machine. After that, we need Spring Starter project where we will develop our all the application which will include all the methods and functionalities. After that, we need AWS account retires. So AWS provides retire for creating an account. Later, we need MobaXterm for remotely connecting to our EC2 instance, which we create on AWS account. After that, we need SpringToolSuite, where we will be developing our application and testing locally. So let's get started with the STS, that is SpringToolSuite. So basically, we will be creating Spring Starter project from STS itself. So I just want to demonstrate that part as well. So from here, we can create the Spring Starter project from here also. So we just have to give the name as we do all the things at start.spring.io URL. All the things we can do here as well. So we will select my event, then the jar packaging, then the Java version language. All the stuffs are here. Then I'll just change the jar file name from here, file version from here. I'll just click on next. And basically we need the Spring Web dependency so that we can have the Tomcat server and all the MVC related functionalities as well in our application. So I'll just finish and it will get imported at our local area. So application is getting loaded at our local environment. So yes, so application is here. Now I will just run the application and check if it is working at the desired location or not. Yes. So as we can see here, our application is running on 8080 port. So for testing, if application is running, we just have to go to the local host and add the port number here so that we can see if our application is running. So as this error is appearing here, so we can consider that our application is up and running. So the first topic is completed, that is creating and running basic Spring Boot application. So I'll just move on to the another topic, that is changing Spring Boot application port. So for that, we just have to go to the resources, and from here in the application.properties file, we just have to configure the port number here, server.port, and the desired port number that we want to run our application. So here I have added the port number and I just save this file and I just stop the previous running application and rerun the application so that our application will start running on the latest port that I have mentioned over there. So just start the application, clean Spring Boot. Just a second, I'm not sure what is happening. I'll just rerun the file. I think I entered the wrong command. Clean Spring. So now as we change our port names, so we can see our port is now configured on 8081. So if we check our on our previous port, that is 8080, and try running the application over here, so it will not run at this location. Now as we configured our latest port, we'll try running on that port. So now our application is running on the port that we have setted in the application.properties file. Now we will move to the next part, that is including DevTool dependency in our application. So basically, the need of the DevTool dependency is to we don't have to rerun the start and stop server every time we do the changes. So it is very important for our rapid development of application that we constantly we do some sort of automation over there, like our application will do automatic restart on changes that we made over there. So for DevTool dependency, we have to go to mvnrepository.com. There we have to search DevTools in the search box. Then we get the DevTool Spring Boot DevTools uh, dependency part in our application, and from there we just have to select Maven and the dependency for that DevTool. We just have to copy this one and paste it in our form.xml file. So in here we can post the DevTools and it will get configured automatically. So in the dependency XML, in the dependencies XML, we just have to paste the DevTool dependency that we have copied from the mvnrepository.com, and we can keep this comment so that for future reference, if someone want to know what the dependency is for, we can use it. And we just have to remove version from here because Spring Boot itself get detect its uh, respective version from here. So I just save this file over here and it will start recognizing this file. Now we just have to do change after this form.xml configuration complete. We just have to change our some sort of code in our file, so that it can get some code is getting modified and it will just restart itself automatically. So now I'll just add some space over here and do the save. Now our application should have started over here, but it is not. So I just rerun the application. So we will get exact demo of this scenario. So now as we can see here, DevTool property defaults active. It simply means that our application is now aligned with DevTool dependency. If I just remove this space and save my application, then it will get restarted automatically. Yes, as you can see here, as I have saved this document, it's restarted the application automatically. Now I just now three of the topics are completed. Now I'll just create some simple application based on the previous application that I have made for the addition. So I'll just create some packages over here. Yes. So the basic package, that is entry point for any application, that is controller. Then we need service layer package. Then we need model package, that is simply we can call it Pojo package, Pojo class package, which we let's say model one. In the controller one, we have to create one class, that is add controller. Then we have to create add.java here. And for the service one, we have to create add service dot class package file, add service. So these three files are necessary for creation of our application. So I'll just take reference from of the previous application so that it will be easy for us to implement. Here we have to add addition controller data. So now the dependency injection and the method that we need to implement over add controller. Then we need add.java model class. So it is similar to the before one. Now we need add service. This addition service over here. We need to add it over here, and we need service annotations also here so that it will recognize the bean. Control Shift. Here we need both of these should have to be removed. Here we need add service. Control Shift. All the things are aligned exact as it is needed, and now I'll just try to demonstrate this application by just so all the things are aligned as it is expected. Yes, so I'll just try hitting the API from the Postman so that I'll get exact understanding if it is working or not. As our port number is 8081 and the request method and the API that we are hitting is the same as we can see here in the controller, which is the API/add. So this is something where the data is getting passed. In the body, we will be just passing the desired data that is necessary to be there, and we just have to change one change that I have made over here. We just have to make it a plus and save. It will get run again. Yes, so it is started again, and we have to hit this API, so we will get confirmation that it is working. So as it is working right now, we'll just proceed further in the deployment to the EC2 instance. So let's move on to that part. We'll just have to go to this AWS console. Yes, as I have already logged into this AWS account, we'll see the dashboard directly over here. In the EC2 instance, we have to create new instance for our application to deploy. EC2 deployment server. So this is the name of the instance that I have added over here, and I have selected AWS Linux. Then I will be selected AWS Linux 2. Then there will be the PAM keys that I have previously generated. I'll use the same. All the modifications should have to be remain the same, and I'll just launch this instance. Yes, so instance is launched successfully. The major things we need here is the IP address that we needed for direct communication with this instance that we have created. So I have made the needed stuff, required stuff over here. Then we need PEM file and the jar file. Yes. So here in the security groups, I just wanted to initialize this in the beginning of itself, so that I don't have to do it later on. So in the inbound rules, I want to edit inbound rules and enable the port that I want to have. So this one is the custom TCP, and the port number that we have is 8081, and the IP that I am allocating to it is the default one. And I'm just saving these rules so that I don't have to do it later on. And yes, so it is done. Now we have to open the MobaXterm, and from there we have to connect to the EC2 instance. So this is the IP address that we needed, and this one is the PEM file location that from which we can establish the connection between the EC2 instance and our local machine. So this one is the file and this one is the file name. So I'll just construct the things here so that I don't have to be, I don't get error. So all the things are done. Now we need the jar file so we can run all the commands flawlessly. I have actually listed all the commands so that I don't have to search and implement one after other. So I just create one jar file. The jar file can be created using clean package command from EC2 demo application. So I'll just run that command. So the now jar file is getting created. The jar file will appear in the target folder, as it's the default path of jar file is target folder, so it will appear over there. Yes, so our jar file is created successfully. We just have to refresh here, so it will appear as expected. So now we need the path of our jar file. So this is the path and this one is the file. So we just paste that stuff over here and just modify some things. Now we have to connect our local machine to EC2 machine so that we can do our like push our jar file to that location and run our application on EC2 machine. So this one is the address of PEM file and this one is the IP. Here we need to paste the IP. And now we just have to run this command in the MobaXterm and it will get connected to EC2 machine. Okay, there is some error. Bulk hire is not accessible, no such a file directory. Okay, so I'll use another path for the PEM file as it is not getting connected. So I have the PEM file on other location as well. I'll just try to connect from here. So this one is it, Control V, and this one is the IP address. I'll try again. Yes. So now it is connected. Now we just have to install our Java in our EC2 machine so that we can access our jar file, run our jar file over there. Now I am pasting the command to install Java. It is being installed on our EC2 machine. Yes. So Java is installed on our EC2 machine. Now we need to add our push our jar file to our EC2 machine. So for that, initially we need the present working directory over here. So with the help of with the help of which we can push our file on the desired location. So here we need IP address, and here we need PEM file address, and here we need jar file name. So our jar file name is EC2 demo app 01.jar. This one is our jar file location is, and we need to copy this path, this copy command on the new terminal, that is the local one that we have. Initially we just have to go to the location of the target folder from here, and there we have to fire this command. So now we are on the target folder. We have to fire that command, that is scp second. Yes. So with this command, our local jar file that we created using clean package, that is getting pushed to our EC2 instance machine, from where we can run that file and monitor all the performance of the file and all the stuff related to the file we can do in our. Yes, so as we can see here in our EC2 instance, our file is getting added. So now we just have to fire a command to run the file. Yes, as we can see with this command, we can directly run our file at the EC2 instance. Just a second, there is some issue. Yes, we'll just do manually Java jar EC2. With this command, our file gets started in our EC2 machine, and we'll try to hit our API request from Postman directly to our EC2 instance machine file application that we have deployed over there. So for hitting that API, we need to add the IP address that we have of our EC2 machine in place of localhost, so that it will identify the request and process the request accordingly. So here we add the IP address and send the request. So now as we can see, our application is up and running on EC2 machine, and it is giving us response in our local Postman application, where we are passing the data from here. So I'll just try again. Yes, so it is working fine at the location. Now we'll try to do some other things over here, that we will try run our application as a background process over here. So for that we have to use nohub command and output log file, where we will be storing all the output log in this location. Like output log, that means our the response console system out statement that we have added will be directly stored in the output log file. So I'm trying to copy this command. Just a second. So now I'll just write the command. So now our application is running as a background thread over here, and it will, like, we have to stop it with the help of its process ID. So as it is running as a background process, so I'll just start the application jar, and then the file name, that is EC2. Then we have to store it in the output log. That is 2 and 1 space, and now our application is running as a background thread. We can check our output log file with the help of tail-f command. And now I'll just try hitting the APIs again and again. So now I'm hitting again the API. It is giving me response, but nothing is coming on the terminal. So now I just have to look into the output log file to get all the responses that are happening in the backend. So as we just hit the 4014, it is getting stored in the output log file, and we can also see that over here. Now I'll just change the number, that is 55, and send it again. As now we can see 5550, and now we can see it is also getting printed in the output log file. So to stop the output log file, we just have to check what is the process ID running for the Java. Now we just see Control C over here, and then we'll just add that command here. And now we'll get the process ID for the application that is our jar file. Now we just copy this process ID and write the command over here, that is kill -9 and the process ID that we copied just now. So I'll just write over here 5095906, and it will get killed right here. So now if I go to output log file, it is still like showing me the data, but if I send again the request from the Postman, it will not show anything at the here, and the request will not also get processed because our application is down right now. So these all are the stuff that I have did, and this is the demonstration for EC2 instance uh, created on AWS. So thank you everyone. I'll see you on another demonstration.